Are you looking for a way to use up some of your paper as well as create some crafty fun for someone else? Then stick around and I'll show you what my idea is for today. Hey, it's Beth. Welcome. Today I am going to be making some card kits. I got this idea from Letty, who is Party Planner Papery here on YouTube, and I'll try and find her video and link it below for you where I got this idea, but she was trying to use up a collection and made some like little mini card kits for her nieces, I think. And I have had it on my to-do list for upcoming fall and winter craft shows to make some more to restock our card kits. And this kind of spurred me along and gave me some additional ideas on ones that I could do. So she was working on using up a collection, but what I wanted to do was focus on loose sheets in my stash. I have the drawers full of loose paper in my stash, and I've been so focused on using up collections and pads that I always tend to neglect the loose sheets. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. I went through my stash and looked for ones that kind of worked, papers that would work well together. So these two are from Paper Studio at Hobby Lobby. I have a ton of paper that, and you'll see some more here in a little bit, that came from those clearance packs that Hobby Lobby used to sell. I don't see them as much anymore, but it was just like a variety of the Hobby Lobby papers, and they would be bundled in a pack. Sometimes it would be clearance, but then sometimes it would just be like a regular price, but then if you got them half price, they were like whenever they had the Paper Studio papers or products on sale, like you could get it really cheap. So for some reason I was a sucker for those, couldn't say no. So I have a ton of Hobby Lobby paper, which in one way, like even though it's not all from one collection, there are a lot that do coordinate. So that being said, I had found these two patterns. I only had one of the heart, but I had two of the florals, and I thought those kind of worked well together. The colors are similar anyway, and they both have kind of a watercolory feel. And then as I was looking through, I found these sheets of cut-aparts from American Crafts, and I had found these at Joann's last fall, I think, on clearance for super cheap. So I had bought three, and I kind of wish I would have bought like all that they had. But they're birthday sentiments, and the colors aren't perfect, but they do coordinate pretty well. So I am going to work on making a kit with these today. And today's video is sponsored by Munbyn. They have like label printing and shipping supplies, and so you will see them come into play here in a little bit, and you'll learn more about them. But for now, let's get into making our kits. So to create my kits, I'm trying to design it based on the papers that I have. So I know I have two of these florals and only one of hearts. So what I think I'm going to do is make the card mats out of the floral. And I'm keeping these really simple. You'll see I've already done some other kits that I'll show you examples of. I'm trying to keep them really simple and kind of flexible that people can do with, you know, have a little freedom and flexibility in how they use them. But so if I do card mats and then some accent piece and then cut down the rectangular cut aparts from here, like I can get 8 card mats from here, and then if I just use the rectangular pieces, then on that I can use 2 of the sheets and get 8 accent or focal points, and then I may just do a strip or something of this one to add behind the cut aparts. So I just need to cut 8 of those. So what I'm going to do is cut my card mats at 4 by 5 1/4, and I personally like my card mats to be like 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and it gives me just a little bit less of a border or white border. But I find that if you have unexperienced card makers, it is easier for them to center and line up something with a bigger border around it. So I'm going to cut these to 4 by 5 1/4. So I just trimmed that off at 10.5, and then we'll come in at 4. Cut 2 strips, and then 5 1/4. And I apologize, my voice may come and go, it may be froggy. I am still trying to get over a cold, flu, COVID, we're not exactly sure. It's been going around our house. So I will do this one the same way. And you'll see that it leaves me very little scraps. Also, my focus is going to go in and out, and words are hard, math is hard, because the brain fog is real. So I'm just going to apologize for all that. So if I start talking and start to drift off, that's why. So anyway, cut down this last piece. So here are my card mats. And then I have 8 envelopes already pulled out from my stash, and then card bases. One thing Letty did, which I thought was a great idea, is she's also trying to use up some of those store-bought card bases. Some of them are like colored or patterned, but she's picked them up on sale a lot of places, and I know I used to buy them when I saw them on clearance. I was trying to think, I'm like, I don't think we have any anymore, and then I realized my daughters had a huge stash of card bases left from when they were doing card making. Like, I bought them like 2 big packs, and then they kind of both went on to other interests. So I raided their stash and pulled out some of the card bases, the white pre-made card bases from there. So all I had to do was score them. And so you can see that that will fit on there. And then I think I will go 4-inch strips here. Maybe 4 by 2. Let's see what that gives me. And then before I cut any more, I always like to audition things before, like if I either draw it out or cut one and a sample and kind of lay it out just to make sure it's going to work before I start mass cutting. So I know it's a lot of tone on tone and it's kind of busy, but I don't think that that's going to be an issue. I think it's just going to make for some bright, fun cards. And people can mix and match things as they like. Like some of these will probably go better with the papers than others. I didn't get a very even cut there. Okay, so I think that will be fine. So I'm going to shift back to cutting down the hearts into 8 2x4-inch strips. Okay, so I have that much done, and this, just out of curiosity, oh, it's only 4x5. I was hoping I'd get a card mat out of it for myself, but that's all right. So I will trim down the other row of these. Okay, so I will do the other one off camera, but then kind of want to show you how I would assemble the kits. So I would make sure that I have enough for 2 kits, and each has enough for 4 cards. So 4 envelopes for each, and then 4 card bases for each. They would each get 4 of the floral, and then 4 of the hearts. And then I think I'm going to sort these. Oh, well, I don't have. Let me just do 2. 2, 2, and 2. So, oh, I don't need to cut. See, again, math is hard. I don't need to cut down a second sheet because there were 4 in each row. And 4 times 2 rows is 8, and that is the number I needed. Good grief. So we're good. We're done. I don't have to cut down a second sheet. I told you thinking is hard right now. So since these, most of them have sentiments on them, I'm not going to necessarily, I might switch out so that they each have one that doesn't have a sentiment, but it is birthday themed. So I'm not necessarily going to include sentiments on this one. I do want to show you some of the other kits that I created that some of them are a little more involved than others. Like this one, I had this llama paper that I thought would be really fun against a paper studio find, and found I had an abundance of this color of blue cardstock in my stash that I don't use very often. But I didn't have any like good embellishments. And so, and then I also have, like, I just did a square piece of the polka dot. But I didn't have any good embellishments to go with the papers. And so I found some clip art and pulled it into my Silhouette studio design space, kind of resized them as to what I needed, added sentiments to a few of them. I added a black border to this one and created my own cut-aparts, and then just printed them on my color printer. And then from the scrap cardstock I had left, I punched out 2 different sizes of hearts. So my thought on this one is it can go a couple different ways. Let's scooch this out of the way. This is using like those white store-bought card bases that my daughters had. You take the llama paper, the polka dot, and one of the cut-aparts. And I also had put in like a happy birthday and a hello sentiment too, if they want to use that for the cut-aparts that don't have a sentiment. So I figured there's different ways that they can do this. You can kind of layer them in different ways. Move the polka dot paper around wherever they want it. Then they can come in and embellish with the extra hearts if they want. They could put this strip in the center. They could leave out the polka dot altogether. Again, just wanted to give them some freedom. Most of the other kits that I have are very, like, I give them instructions or examples. So it's just kind of fun if somebody wants to have the freedom to use the supplies to design their own cards. So get this out of the way. And then I did another one that I've had this balloon paper in my stash. I don't know where that one came from, but the balloon animal paper is from Hobby Lobby, and these kind of coordinated. Again, not a perfect color match on everything, but they worked together well enough. So this time I brought in some colored card bases from my daughter's stash, and this one I was just going to use the balloon animal paper kind of as the rectangular element, and then again found a color of cardstock in my stash that happened to work that I don't use much of, like lime green or bright fluorescent green. And so I just die cut a couple different sizes of balloons, and I have a happy birthday sentiment, so they can put the balloons however they want. They can just use one. So again, there's a little bit of freedom. So just some additional ideas on using paper. And if you have collections like Letty did that you're trying to use up, then that just makes it even more easier, because you tend to have the ephemera or cut aparts that go with it in lots of coordinating paper. So, but what I'm going to do, what I would do now, is I have all of my pieces together and I am just going to put them in the card, like A2 size clear bags, and I have a bunch that I've gotten from clear bags in the past. And since I'm only doing 4 cards, they tend to fit just perfect into they are 4 5/8 by 5 3/4. And then you can seal that up. And then I have some stickers that I got from Munbyn, and I will show you how I make those. But I just thought that is a fun way, and Letty had done this too, which gave me the idea to just label the kit so people know what it is they're buying. So let me show you how I made the stickers and tell you a little bit about Munbyn. Munbyn was kind enough to send me this cute pink label printer. How perfect is the color for me, along with some shipping labels and round sticker labels as well. The shipping labels will come in handy when I am shipping orders from our online stores. And then this is just a look at all Munbyn has to offer. They have a ton of different products and accessories to work along with the label printers. So to create my label design, I worked in Canva and just searched for sticker, and then kind of used their layouts and found one that I liked, and then I liked that kind of simple one right there, and I just pulled it in and then replaced all of the wording with my wording. So I'm not going to do that now because this isn't a Canva tutorial, but from here I just downloaded it and saved it onto my computer, and then from the image I went to the print icon, and you need to make sure that you choose the label printer, which mine was already pulled up. And then I'm going to change the amount of labels to 5, and then the most important thing after choosing the correct printer is to choose the correct size of your labels. Mine are 2 inches, and so you hit print from there and they print easy as pie. So that's how easy these can be, and you can see I didn't necessarily make them all different. Mine are all very similar layouts. This one just has like an extra piece or so in it. But you know, use what you have on hand and create some of the kits. One thing I have learned, if you do like craft shows, that DIY kits have become pretty popular since COVID. It's just, I think COVID created the desire for people to kind of be more hands-on. So just an idea that if you have paper you're trying to use up and you're doing craft shows, that these might be a good idea for you, and use what you have on hand. Be kind of creative with what you include. You can do more, like I tend to do some more of these like different themes. I need to do some more Halloween ones for this fall, so I plan to use this idea and keep rolling. So I think Letty had done 2 for hers. I know I have other kits that do like 6, 8, and even 10. So sky's the limit on how many you want to actually include. You could just do 1 if you wanted. But I hope that you guys got some inspiration and ideas on how to use up some of the paper in your stash. And I thank you, Letty, for this genius idea, and I thank you, Munbyn, for the printer and the labels that also kind of gave me the idea on how to finish all of these off. The Munbyn products will be linked in the description box below if you are interested. But otherwise, I thank you guys so much for your time, and I hope you all have a very crafty day.